Hello, everyone. Um, this is the last presentation of our summit, and it's a time just for all of us to come together. So if you want to put your videos on, um, put your mics on, and just talk about the summit, what you liked, what you didn't like, what you'd like to see next year, God willing. Um, anything else that you guys want to talk about?
Hey, I think it was a really good summit. Boy, it really covered the territory, many different angles and variety of speakers and places, herds. So we had the burros and they had the wild horses and various nations and continents. So really gave a enhanced perspective on what's happening. There's a lot of real positive things happening for the wild horses and wild burros. If you look at it all over the world.
I think so too. I think that was really good, and it was neat to see. We had people from Australia, Germany, France. So yeah, a lot of really different advocates doing really great things everywhere. Yeah, I think there was something to learn from every single presentation. I don't think that there was anybody that, you know, um, any video that would be a waste of time to watch. I think that there was something to learn from everybody. So I think that was really great too. So anyone
Yeah,
else have
the
anything?
most
Want to jump in and talk?
Yeah, I will, Chris. I thought it was fantastic. I attended last year and I thought it was great. And this year, even more so, just amazing the speakers and everything that you guys just said from the different herds, the continents, both the horses and the burro. It was amazing. Gave me lots of ideas, lots of education. I know a lot of work went into this, and I just wanted to thank you. It was outstanding in every way.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I always feel like too, I feel very lucky because if I want to call Ginger or Craig or Mary or um, Eric Mulvar, I can get them on the phone and say, hey, I think that this is an opportunity for everybody else to talk to some of these great people and hear, the valuable information that they have. So, and I think it worked out better spreading it out this year instead of having such a rush of days like last year. So I think that it was a lot more laid back and it left a lot of time for some really great conversations. I think we had in some of the presentations. So
Yeah, Chris, this is Mary. I would definitely agree that spreading it out. I know it was a lot of work for you, but I believe that spreading it out, I think it gave people time to take in information and it
right.
was just much more maybe casual, relaxed.
I think so too. I felt like it was and even I know we did the Path Forward presentation today. And I don't know if you guys realize we were on for over 2 hours. And Mary was like, I think we went a little long. I'm like, nobody moved. It was a great conversation. I think a couple people got kicked out, but they came right back in. So, um, and there was just a lot of really good information that was shared. So even when they went long like that, I think that people were still engaged, which was really great. So
It's a pretty huge subject to deal with.
well, we covered a lot. There was a
Yeah.
lot more than just the path forward that was talked about. So I thought that was really good too. So does anybody else have any thoughts to share?
I'm really glad that you had somebody talking about donkeys, and I hope next year there can be more on the wild burros because they're so important and they're so endangered. So
I know we tried, and I know you
I
helped
know you did.
find
I
out
really
too.
know you did. Not a
Um,
criticism at
there were
all.
there were a couple other people that were going to speak on wild burros, and then just things happened at the last minute, and
Mhm.
they got sick or their burros got sick or something else
Sure.
happened. Um, so definitely next year I want to make sure because that's not a place that I have really any knowledge whatsoever to share. So to get people like Mark, I thought was great.
Oh,
His
wonderful.
his presentation was really there was so much to learn from his presentation. So I thought that he more than made up for our lack of
Mhm.
other rural
Really
people.
great. And
Um, I
I have a feeling some people are lining up for next year, so they're going to be prepared. So it's something
uh,
I think that takes a little bit of work to find the people, and then
Right.
you know, I mean, they're so busy, so it's hard for them to find the time. But I do think there'll be more next year, and I appreciate your including
I
Mark.
So I would have a suggestion is maybe you could include a presentation on zebras or wild onagers, the other ones that are in the equid family.
All
And
right,
maybe
yes.
bring in someone from the equid specialist group of the World Conservation Union.
Well, that would be interesting. Yeah. Thank you. That's a good suggestion. Yeah, that would be interesting. I don't know, does anybody else have anything? I did mention earlier, I am trying to get a couple more presentations that we'll have in February. One is Eric Mulvar did agree. Some people asked for him to come back and talk about land leases. And so he did say he would do that. So I'm trying to get a date together for him. I do have an astrologer to come in and talk about the year of the fire horse, which I think will be interesting just to see astrologically how the planets are aligned for our wild horses and burros this year. And I also talked about during the Path Forward presentation, I do have an open invitation out to Return to Freedom to come and have a conversation if they'd like to about what they're doing at Return to Freedom, the work that they're doing, and also they are keeping their stance as far as the path forward. So when I do put up the resource list, additional reading for the path forward, their statement will be on there so you can read, why they're keeping their stance. But again, not as like a gotcha kind of a moment, but just to hear, just like we did with, Cloud Foundation, American Wild Horse Conservation, everybody else, things that they're doing. So to hear what they're doing too. So just watch our blogs and our Facebook page, and I'll be sure to let people know when we have those things set up. So anyone else have anything or any questions or any ponders or anything at all to share?
Just
Yeah,
a
well,
huge thanks to
go
you,
ahead.
Chris. It was a massive, massive project. Huge thanks.
You're welcome. It was like I said, there was something to learn from every single presentation. I think I was very just really engaged in every presentation, so it wasn't like my camera went off and I was sitting here playing games. I was really intrigued by what was being said. And a lot of great information I think that we can use as advocates. I mean, even when you look at Victoria's presentation from Australia, that sanctuary that she works at has over 40 years of really good scientific information and that we can all use, you know what I mean, as like a model for what can work. So
Yeah, along those lines, there's a place in Africa called the Namib. It's on the west coast where they have wild horses there, and they've done very thorough studies. And initially, they sent a PhD student do his dissertation field study there, and with the idea that he was going to discredit them as destructive misfits that didn't belong. And he actually proved that they were similar to Australia there, that they were enhancing and helping the more deeply rooted natives.
yeah.
So that would be a good one to include next time in the summit.
All right, I will try
I'll
that
try
too.
and give
So
you some specifics about, I think, what was his name? Netherson or something. I have his information.
all right. Yeah, pass it along.
I don't know if this would be possible, Chris, but I think a presentation from the Assateague National Park for people managing those horses or the Shackelford Bank horses. I don't know if they would
I
if
know
they
when
would.
I that's something that maybe uh Jen Britton might be able to help with.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, she's very involved. Yeah.
With Assateague, yeah, so I can ask her that for next year. In Shackelford, sometimes I feel like it's hard to get them to talk, you know,
Sure, yeah.
but I can reach out to them and see if they'd be interested in speaking about it. So it's just a way to raise awareness about, specific herds, different issues, whatever.
Right.
So
And the collaboration between the nonprofit and
Right.
National Park Service.
Absolutely. Yep. Anyone else have anything?
Oh, I have one more thing, and it's a pitch. As you know, Chasing Horses, Wild Horse Advocates is a small organization. So if anybody can make donations to help support it, I think Chris would be very appreciative, but
Yes,
I think
always.
all of us would too, because it would help continue her work. So,
Yep. We try to keep these free so that everybody can just take part in it, but there are costs to our nonprofit for this. So yeah, any help we can get is always helpful. So we appreciate it. Anybody else have any thoughts or even just thoughts on advocacy or questions lingering from some presentations? We have a lot of good people here that can engage in a conversation. No one? What are some out of the box things that you guys think that we can do to advocate better, to get changes? Maybe that's a good question, just to pose to everybody. Like, how do we start thinking outside the box and doing the same old, same old? Especially now when I feel like we're really fighting hard for any kind of bandwidth to get for wild horses and burros with so many other things happening in the world. So,
It's-
anybody have any creative suggestions?
Well, I would just say that you could focus a lot on the contributions of the wild equids to ameliorating or healing the current ecological crisis, including global climate change, because they are really keystone species that help enhance ecosystems.
Yeah, we have to work
And
harder at getting that.
sequester carbon, do things, all kinds of things.
Anyone else have thoughts?
I oh, I was wondering, I live out east, and I feel like wild horse and burro advocates live in a bit of a bubble because they think everybody knows about wild horses and
know.
burros. And living out east, I realize not many people do. So I think efforts to try to promote, and I'm trying to think of some, but I'm not coming up with any, but just efforts to try to engage different parts of the country so that the wild horse and burro issue isn't just a Western states issue.
Right.
So maybe that's word of mouth. I'm not sure.
Well, maybe more of these equine affairs kind of things get advocates in the area to have booths. I know Ginger Catherine's goes to the Breyer Fest every year in
Yeah.
Ohio and has a big booth, and so many people just learn there about wild horse. She goes every year, of course, because there's a very famous Cloud Breyer horse and Cloud family and stuff. But events like that, if more people could just show up and just get a nonprofit booth or something
That's
and
true,
help
true,
educate-
Ginger.
I'm sorry, what?
That's true, Ginger. I agree with you.
Oh yeah, Ginger Catherine's, yes.
No,
Where
I
does
meant
it
with
take
what
place?
you're saying about equine
Oh,
affairs or
Yes,
those sort of things.
yeah.
Is that in Colorado, the Breyer Fest?
No, it's in Ohio.
Okay.
I think is it in Ohio or is it in Kentucky?
Briar Fest is in Kentucky at the Kentucky Horse Park in July.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. She always goes to visit her family in Ohio afterwards. So you're right.
I know that too, like along the lines of what you're talking about too, Mary. Sometimes it doesn't have to be that you actually go to a show. I know you and Ginger have seen, like, we have a small shop in Medora down the street from the
Right.
park,
Yeah.
and we have just like a little literature rack where we have information, and I've invited other nonprofit organizations to send their stuff, and people do take them. Last year when we had the coloring campaign,
Right,
we had,
right.
we had kids of, I mean, we had adults that were out there coloring sometimes, and we ended up with tons of coloring pages to send to Congress with our messages. So I think that was also great.
I thought that was really innovative.
Yeah.
And I can also say too that I've also had wild horse advocates, especially in the height of our fight for the Theodore Roosevelt horses, who have been going to like a lot of these like country or state fairs and stuff, and
Mhm.
they'll just ask for brochures and they'll just walk around at these
Yeah,
festivals and just pass out brochures. So there are really things that anybody can do from
yeah,
anywhere.
yeah.
But
And bulletin boards too at those functions.
right.
Mhm.
They always put up bulletin boards where you can put up your information flyers.
Right, right. And Caroline Christie is an amazing, she mostly does wild burros, but I think she does some wild horses. She always has a booth at the Equine Affair in Massachusetts, and she carries information about what's happening. And she gets a lot of inquiries. And Lori Ford, I think she's also an amazing photographer. And I believe when she sends information, photographs out, or I think some of her photographs may be on sale at different galleries. I do believe that she also includes some messaging about wild horses and burros. So it's nice to use art as a venue to promote, the protection and appreciation of our wild herds.
Absolutely. Angela wants to know, I don't know if any of you guys know this. Does anyone know how many roundups were canceled this last year due to depleted finances? I feel like they always have money for roundups.
Quite
Not
a few.
sure.
I don't know exactly, but quite a few were.
Krista wants to know if anyone's ever contacted the Kentucky Horse Park. She wonders if they would allow an educational display. I can look into this. I'm sure they probably would. Breyer, I think, is I mean, they've had a lot of models that are crafted after actual wild horses, so I think that it might be something that they would entertain. Two of them were lawsuits as far as the roundups, and I would say possibly three. Um,
They're on hold. Yeah,
yeah, I
waiting.
think that, but I don't think that they were stopped due to lack of finances. I think that the BLM always finds money for roundups.
It was
Montgomery Pass
litigation.
was stopped. Montgomery Pass.
That was stopped,
Well, not permanently, but it was put on
at least.
hold due
Yeah.
to suit.
Anybody else have anything else? Sailor bait trap too. Yeah, but I don't think that oh, for lack of funds. Interesting.
Hmm.
Okay. Hmm. Well, I don't know how the funding is going to go this year. We'll see. um, with our crazy world that we live in. So, anyone else have any thoughts or anything else to share? Anything else you guys want to see next year? I think that this format worked better on weekends, and then occasional Fridays. Oh, I will reach out to Grace maybe in another week or so from Western Watershed. She was going to do a really good communication type presentation. So she's another one I'll reach out to. Hopefully things have calmed down and whatever was going on with her family. So um, yeah,
Yeah.
I think it went really well. I think again, I'm thankful to all the people who presented and all of you who were here week after week listening to the presentations and really bringing some great questions and great insights into the conversation. So thank you. I think, like I said, there was something to learn from every single presentation. So anybody else have anything else before we close this out and look forward to the third annual ones? How about billboards? Not all people are on social media. I think that there are some. I think American Wild Horse Conservation, I know, has some billboards up, and I know they still have one up here in North Dakota. I'm not sure how many other groups are doing those. We also talked about before, and I think it could work. It's just a matter of looking at it, doing like portable billboards where, like, we can create car magnets for people to put on their cars. I think that that would help reach people anywhere. And then no matter where you drove, you know what I mean? You had a message for, you know, save our wild horses and burros or whatever. Um, that could be another way where it's just, a
That's a
mobile.
great idea, Chris. Put it
Yeah.
out and sell them. Because right now Colorado is looking to do a wild horse license plate, which will attract a lot of people and raise money for the Colorado Wild Horse Project. But I think a magnet is a wonderful idea. Just instead of like a bumper sticker that
Right,
gets lost in the in the shuffle. Yeah,
right.
yeah. Go ahead and produce them and sell them. We'll buy them.
I'll look into that and see what I can find out. I know we've talked about it before, but I think that would, I mean, it would be able to get wild horse and burro advocates everywhere. You know, if you coast to coast, just put it on your car and hopefully sparks some conversation. So, yeah.
Yeah.
My
Krista said,
husband is, oh, go ahead.
Krista
Oh,
said Carol Walker has magnets people can purchase, so she might
oh,
be able to
good.
help with this. So yeah, I'll look into that.
My husband insists that hats are the best form of raising awareness. He has a Lincoln Project hat, and everybody's always asking him about that. And he's always telling me to tell my friends who run wild horse or burro groups to get hats because he feels like it could have a short message and it's friendly and people tend to look at them and want to know more information. So.
I don't know if you can see this, but I wear this hat everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great, Ginger.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Cool.
have I have one I got from the Alberta Wildies that I bought um to help them, to help support them. And it just says hands off our wild horses. And my husband was laughing because last spring when we were out at the park, there was a darter, darting the mares with Gonacon. And I stopped to ask the guy why they were darting anybody when you just did a roundup in October and everybody got treated last year. And he was like, "Are you wearing that hat?" I'm like, "I absolutely am wearing this hat." So I had my hands off our wild horses hat while I stood there and talked to this guy. So yeah, I agree.
Good for you.
Hats can be effective.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah. Anybody else have anything? Mm. Marie said the carriage horse industry in New York City had had everyday people save the industry. Maybe they can have ambassadors and reach many people. That's a great idea too. Yeah. Angela wants to know overall, have wild horse advocates made some good progress in this last year? I don't know. What do you guys think? I think the
Oh,
checkerboard was a huge thing. I know it's not over yet, but um, it's at least still in court.
Yeah.
uh,
Um, I think we did for the Montgomery Pass
and
wild
the
horse.
Kigers, I think, right? The Kigers, I think, had some positive news.
Yeah, yeah, and I was part of that too, yeah. And with WWP and OWHO also.
Well, Colorado has positive news with their Wild Horse Project that was passed by the voters. And it's in hiatus right now until it can get started up again with some more funding, but it's been a successful program. We're lucky that we have a governor who supports us.
But I think that those are things that we can do. Like I said, I think that going back to the state and trying to do things at a state level, I think that there can be really um some changes there. I mean, when you think about like states could also create a state law that says you can't round up horses with helicopters. I mean, I believe that they could do that. Like it's not allowed in this state. That would change things. I know the hurdle is getting through all that, but I always think North Dakota is a very red state, and we were able to do a lot of different things here. So I think anything is possible. So um
I think pushing how important wild horses and burro in terms of ecotourism can be, and I think that's something that states could promote. And as what happened in North Dakota, when so many businesses and stakeholders started to lobby state representatives, I think and senators, that I think that was being heard by federal. legislators. So I think getting not just wild horse groups or wild horse and burro groups involved, but businesses, restaurants who are dependent, ecotourism. I think that could be another ally. And I think maybe there needs to be more allies for wild horses and burros. And maybe that's a way to branch out a little bit and not stay in the little bubble.
Along those lines, Mary, every time I go to an HMA or an HA to see the horses, and I spend money in restaurants and
Yep.
hotels, I tell them why I'm there.
Yep, I do
I
too.
think
Yeah.
everybody should do that.
Mhm.
Everybody who goes to any kind of a small town that's around the wild horses, tell them you're there to see the wild horses and you're spending their money because of them.
Mhm.
I know that
Money.
helped with a small business in Medora, because
Yes.
when all the things were going on with the horses in Theodore Roosevelt National Park, one of the business owners came out and said, I know for a fact I will lose 25% of my business if those horses go away. And for a small business, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
25% of your business is a really big deal. So um, Deborah said the Kiger lawsuit is still ongoing and could also use funding. And I know Oregon Wild Horse Organization is a big player in that. So yes, they can always use money for the Kiger lawsuit. Striving for state laws would be excellent, fewer delegates to deal with and more laser focused. Not only that, but our state legislators also can call up our federal legislators too and talk to them directly. So so I think that that's another thing too, where even just keeping them, like there's sometimes I'll talk to our state legislators just to let them know, like, hey, this is what's going on. This is what's happening, just to keep a conversation and keep them, educated on what's happening. So I think that would be good. Anyone else have anything? I know there was a lot covered over the last few weeks, so I don't know, just anything stand out or anything you'd want to learn more about, or anything you thought was a great idea?
Chris, I can't say it enough. I thought every presentation was outstanding. I learned a lot from every presentation. More of the same. I'm just amazed at the content that you put together. So just absolutely fabulous. Thank you so very much.
The people were really great. And I also want to let you guys know too, I always thought it was funny that I think probably 95% of the time, the people who were presenting were so nervous and hoped that they really did a good job for you guys. So I was like, I'm sure it's going to be great. But it was just funny to see how nervous some of them really were, that, was it okay? Even this morning, Anushka, who did the Nakota experience, right afterwards, she's like, I hope that was okay. I'm like, it was perfect. It was great. Everybody loved it. Um, so it just, they really put a lot into their presentations, and we're really trying to do something great for everybody. So, yeah. So we'll see how we can, we were better than last year, I think, and we'll see how next year we can be better than this year. Um, so we had we were really lucky to have a lot of really great people. Yeah. So yeah, the Nakota experience I think is going to be great. I know she asked me if I would take them to the park, so I get to be part of it that way, but I'm going to try to, I know I'll have to argue with my husband, like maybe one day he can go and one day I can go. I don't know. We'll have to see. But it's our busy time of the year during that time. So, but yeah, it looks like it's going to be great. So they'll have information. I think she said after the 12th about that too. So, and she's somebody in France advocating for a horse herd here. I mean, just truly incredible what she's been able to do. So, so yeah, I recommend that you follow them, because she's really, like I said, she contacted me, I feel like just a couple months ago, and was like, hey, we're going to do a Nakota experience, and we're going to do a documentary. And I was like, okay, can you help? I'm like, whatever I can do. And here, I mean, she's just making it happen. So from France. So, I mean, truly, we can all do what we can with what we have from where we are. I mean, she's proof of that. So, anyone else have anything? Well, all right, then I appreciate everybody again being a part of this, and especially to all the presenters, and then all of you who were here for for all the experiences. So I'll try to get the videos up on the website today from today's presentations, and then everything will be there on YouTube. So feel free to watch them over again and really share them. There's a lot of really good information. So it's just really getting that information out to people now. A lot of things that we can all use to help advocate. So yeah, thank you to all of you, and you're welcome. I'm happy to do this. Like I said, I hope that it just helps. Really, educated advocates are what we need more than anything and more than anything now. So any way that we can help with that, I'm always willing to do that. So thank you guys again, and thank you everybody for being here.
Thanks,
And
Chris.
I will update you guys when I have some dates for just a couple more presentations in February. So thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you.